amazing. Okay, Lauren, no, it's okay. Sleeping. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been so long. I haven't really made a video in a few weeks, and even before that I was super kind of all over the place. So today's video isn't necessarily about like a feminist topic, but I kind of just wanted to, you know, talk about where I'm at, what I'm thinking about everything, like why I haven't been posting. I feel like what my priorities are, what my interests are, just like what I'm thinking about life in general. Some of you might have absolutely no interest in this, but I feel like I just wanted to kind of do this video because I feel like it would make just no sense if I just like have not been on YouTube for like the past few weeks and then I just come back on and like, here's the video. So I kind of just wanted to explain where I'm at and yeah, and then go from there and see what happens. And as you can maybe see, or if you know me well or care or whatever, I'm in a new apartment. I'm back living in Brussels, FYI, and yeah, so I'm happy. But also just said that there is a tram right outside my door, so if you hear things or a bell or anything, that's what that is. Hopefully I don't think it'll be too bad, but just to let you know. So yeah, I guess first of all I wanted to explain kind of why I have just been so inconsistent the past few months and why I haven't been posting the last few weeks. I think like there's kind of a couple reasons. Like one, my life was just super all over the place. Like I was living in Portugal, so random, pandemic, so random. And I was looking for a job, like I needed a full-time job. That was my kind of priority. And again, like I feel everything I'm gonna say are very much just excuses. Like there's no real reason why I wasn't doing the videos, but these are just all things that definitely contributed to, but I was also kind of like using them as it, like I kind of like was almost like, well, this is the thing, so I can't do videos, but like that just wasn't true. But like that's, you know, I'll tell you now. So that was kind of the main one. It was just like, I'm looking for a job, that's my priority. I'm a bit all over the place, like physically, literally I'm in a different country, my head's all over the place. And then kind of another main one was that I actually was like living with people. So, you know, and again, not an excuse, but I ended up making it one. So I was living with my boyfriend and then my best friend, and I am just so self-conscious. Like I just cannot. And I think like these are like good lessons for people who think that I'm like super confident and I'm like amazing. No, like if like for me to do a video and like be actually like here like confident and comfortable, like there needs to be not a soul literally like on planet Earth. And when people are around, and again it's not their fault at all, it's completely and utterly mine, because I'm just like, well, there's people here so I can't do a video, just can't do it. No, and again, that's me, like I use it as an excuse. So that's kind of one of them. And again, like I just need to seriously get over that, because neither of those people care at all. They're like, I literally like again, it comes back to, we think people care more than they do. They're like, I don't care at all about you making a video, like I'm not gonna be listening to you anyway. So embarrassing. But yeah, that was also one of my excuses. And then like so many reasons, like this video is gonna be so long, I feel, I'm like, God. Yeah, so another one then was just like, I was in the job search, I was learning so much there, and I was getting super passionate, and I am now super passionate about LinkedIn. And again, anybody who knows me knows that I'm obsessed with LinkedIn, and I'll talk about how those kind of feminism LinkedIn are kind of fitting in together or not, or whatever, my interests in kind of later on. But that's also kind of one of them. I was kind of putting a lot of energy into LinkedIn and really having so many conversations with people about LinkedIn over the last kind of 2 or 3 months, and I was just super passionate, and I really wanted to do that, and I was kind of a bit like maybe losing my passion for doing the feminist videos. I don't know, that's just, I'm just kind of speaking out loud, and maybe my head would be clearer after this. And then again, you know, it was kind of like, it was, you know, it was Christmas time, and I really was just like, I was back home with my family, again, being around people and being self-conscious, blah blah blah. And I was also just like, look, I'm going to take a break. And I really, like, I even am now completely gone off Instagram. It's really bad. Like, it wasn't even intentional. It was completely, I just stopped kind of posting on Instagram. And then I was like, well, let's make it an intentional social media break. And that makes it better or something. And even now it's like the end of January. It's like a month after Christmas. And I'm still like, I just have no interest in posting on there. And I feel like it just feels very performative. And I really don't want that to be my life. I really want to be in the moment, and I think that's a very cliche thing to say, and I really like, I know there's people who are like, stop taking pictures, be in the moment. I'm like, fuck off. I'm like, no, you can take photos and also be in the moment. So I'm so not one of those people, but maybe I'm becoming a little bit like that. I don't know, it's actually scary. I'm like, oh my God, I'm changing. Yeah, I'm so not, I just don't care to perform my life for an Instagram story anymore, and I'm actually becoming really opposed to it, and I really don't want to, and I really don't like the feeling I have when I see something and I straight away am like, oh, put on Instagram story. Like, I don't like that. And so I really haven't been posting on Instagram really at all in the past kind of 6 weeks either. And I honestly, I don't want to go back either, you know. And it's so funny, and I'm being very serious about all this, but it's like no one's forcing me to go on Instagram. But then you're like, oh my God, I want to, you know, build my following and talk about stuff. But then I just don't know how I'm meant to kind of reconcile those two things. So again, if you have any thoughts on that, like, do let me know. I just have no interest in going back and being like, I'm sorry. I maybe post one thing a day just to stay relevant, and then I don't anymore. And I honestly don't care. I care, but I don't care at all. And that's what's worrying. But yeah, so that's kind of another reason. Yeah, and then again, just kind of general, this video is gonna be so long, oh my God. Then again, yeah, general, just kind of like moving back here and being in life flux. But again, like all these things are just excuses. Like I probably just didn't want to make the videos. And that's probably what that was. It was showing up in other ways, and I was using excuses, but I probably just didn't want to make them. And like, that's what's interesting as well. Like, why didn't I want to make them, you know? And oh, again, it's like, I need to just kind of figure out where I'm at and like what I like doing and what I don't like doing. And I don't know, I'm really all over the place, as you can maybe tell. And I feel like also as well, a lot of me, I don't want to force things, you know? Like there's a certain level of like, okay, Lauren, just get up early now, you know, like push yourself, you know, to do things, to accomplish things. But there's also a level of, okay, well, don't force something that really isn't there, particularly with videos, because if I don't want to do it, it's gonna show through. Like, I mean, yeah, there's a certain level I can, you know, get on and perform, but also like I'm not gonna force it. I'm not gonna, first of all, I'm not gonna do that to myself. I'm like, no one is forcing me to do this. I'm not gonna force myself. And also, again, just kind of back to the LinkedIn thing, like I've really gotten into the whole kind of like just posting when it comes to you, like or talking about something when it comes to you. And I do that with LinkedIn. Like an idea comes to me, and if I don't do it right there and then, it'll never get done. And I feel like with the videos, because I do them, you know, once a week, I can't just, you know, do them right there and then. I could, but because in my head I'm like, well, videos every Monday, you know, I have to write them down and then do them. And when you do that, you lose a little bit of the passion, because it's not like it's coming to you straight away. It's like maybe 4 days later, and you're a bit like, okay, it's still a good issue and it's still exciting, but you're just not as excited about it, like as compared to the moment when it just came to you. So that's also kind of something that that's just in my head. You know, maybe that's a reason why I'm just like, just feeling very, and it's scary because like I'm having just a bit of a moment, because I'm just like, well, for the last, you know, 6 years, like feminism has been my bag, and I'm like, well, do I not want to do that anymore? Like, it's so weird. I'm having all these questions, and it's just so strange. And then again, I'm like, you know, I don't want to, like, I feel guilty, but then I'm also like, well, I don't want to feel guilty. And I'm like, I'm struggling again with that whole, you know, feeling guilty or just giving yourself grace and being like, well, Lauren, like, it's fine. Like, just do what comes naturally to you. And so again, there's that whole, yeah, just feeling guilty or just being like, okay, Lauren, no, it's okay. And I'm neither. Like, I just don't know which one I am right now. So I do feel guilty, but I'm also like, no, Lauren, it's fine. And then I go back to guilt and it's fine. And it's just, there's a lot going on, as you can maybe tell again. So yeah, really, I'm just kind of asking myself a lot of questions about what I'm doing. Like, you know, because I'm just really quite obsessed with LinkedIn at the moment. I'm like, oh, well, do I put my energy there and do I stop YouTube, or is it possible to do both? And I'm really just confused, because I love the LinkedIn and like career stuff. Like, I actually love that. Like, to a point where I was like, should I work in HR? Like, I'm having so many life shifts, and I'm like, Jesus, do I need to just completely change everything I know what I'm doing and I love? Or I'm like, you know, can I do both? And like, I think it's something we really, it's humans. Like, we put people in boxes, and we're like, well, okay, well, you're a feminist and that's all you can do. And even in my head, and it's not really other people, it's me. I'm like, well, I do this, and then the LinkedIn thing is really random. Can I do both? Is that like, it's just so weird. And I feel like I even look at like social media influencers or whatever, and I'm like, oh, well, they did that for 5 years. Oh, but now they're branching out. That's weird. That's not okay now. They're doing, these two things don't coincide or whatever. That's weird. And I feel like I'm applying that to myself. I'm like, well, am I a feminist person, or am I a LinkedIn careers HR person? Can I do both? It just seems so random, and I'm trying to kind of grapple that. Again, like, this is just so funny. I'm literally just like, this is like therapy. I'm just like speaking, and maybe people can relate, maybe not. Maybe you can offer advice or thoughts, because I'm just kind of at the stage where I'm like, oh, something needs to give. I need to like figure out what is going on now, because it's kind of been going on for a bit too long. So yeah, I'm like, even about this channel, I'm like this is the first video I've ever made that isn't about feminism or isn't me talking about an issue. This is the first video I've ever made on like this channel where I'm kind of talking about life stuff, you know? And I've even thought that for a while. I'm like, maybe I want to talk about life stuff on this channel. But then I'm like, but it's a feminist channel. You can't do that. But like, in reality, I can do whatever I like. But I'm like stressing out about it. Of course, classic me. But I'm like, yeah, but so this is the first video I've ever made that isn't a feminist issue. And I'm like, okay, should I make this channel broader? And then I'm like, oh, well, am I then turning my back on feminism? Am I the worst feminist ever? Or like if I do make it a broader channel, like is it going to be really random and really confusing and not niche enough? So people are going to be like, well, what's your channel about? What are you about? You know, will it help or hinder me? Should I make a separate channel? Like just, you know, when you just overthink things way too much, I'm actually embarrassed. I'm actually like, I don't want to put this up. This is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. So that's just really where I'm at, you know? It's just so confusing, and I hope like that is kind of semi-clear, like what's going on. It's clear, it is clear to me the questions that I'm asking myself, but the answers are not clear. So yeah, really, like if anybody has information or like just tips or advice on this, I genuinely would really love to hear it. And then just kind of like a final word, which is really funny, I think, and kind of made me actually feel good and maybe kind of encapsulates my whole problem was, so yeah, as I said, over the last few months I've been really helping a lot of people with LinkedIn stuff because I personally am obsessed with LinkedIn, and I've really, like, I have just benefited so much from it in the last few months. That's literally how I got my job. So I just feel like I owe it so much, and I feel like everybody is sleeping on LinkedIn and it has so much potential, and we all need to be just like amazing. And so I've been having loads of conversations with people, and one person I'm having a conversation with, and I was helping her out, and in my head, I was just giving like, you know, helpful advice to a woman. I didn't think anything of it in terms of like feminism. It was just me helping a friend. Like that was just what was going on in my head. And then this friend, you know, did something really cool, and she put it up on LinkedIn, and I commented. I said, oh, amazing, like well done, unreal, fab. And she commented and said the most loveliest thing, which I was like, oh my God. She said that, actually, I have it here because I want to read out the actual proper thing. She said, you are a brilliant example of female allyship in practice. And I thought, oh my God, that was just so lovely. And it kind of maybe answered one or two questions for me, because I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, well, it's feminism or LinkedIn. But here I was, in her eyes, combining the two. And it hadn't even occurred to me that I was maybe doing that. So now I'm like, oh, well, should I combine them? And really now it just leads to more questions. I'm like, well, should I combine them and do a feminist HR thing, you know? Should I make it somehow into the, I don't know. These are all questions that I'm asking, but it's really funny. And like, I'm blessed to have these problems. I'm blessed to have, you know, many interests and many things that I am kind of good at. And it's good, but I just thought that comment was really cool, and it kind of just got me thinking, and it kind of made me feel better, because I was thinking when I was on LinkedIn that I was turning my back on feminism, but then she was like, no, like this is, you know, you're being a, you know, an ally to another woman, even on here too. And I was like, okay, like I'm not the worst person ever. And really it's just about me being like really hard on myself as well. So it's all just so unnecessary. So yeah, I really don't even know where to finish this. I just wanted to have a kind of a fresh start again, and really let people know where I was at, and get back into the swing of filming. Like when you haven't been filming, it's like regularly, it's really weird to get back into it again. So I kind of just wanted to do this, and again, just like not just come back on and pretend like I haven't been completely MIA for kind of the past few months. So that is this week's video. Like, let me know what you think, even about like making the channel broader, like setting up a new channel, because I really love talking, and I love talking about like life issues as well as feminist issues. So I really am like, what should I do there? Like, please, I would love your comments, like really. And yeah, maybe even after doing this video, I'll be more clear on what I want or what I do or whatever, who knows. But yeah, I think that's everything. So thank you so much for watching. You'll probably see me next week talking about a feminist issue. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. But yes, if you have watched this far, thank you very, very much. Again, would love your advice. Please do like the video or give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see just more random stuff, or me evolving as a human and going about my life. Who knows what's going to happen. But either way, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you at some stage. Bye!